You've only gone and downloaded a multiplesources.net podcast. For more episodes of this show and a bunch of other content covering everything from NBA teams to professional wrestling, visit multiplesources.net. Multiplesources.net. But wait! Act now and you too could join multiplesources.net. Yeah, we're looking for people to do their own podcasts about different NBA teams. We're looking for blog authors, video highlight creators, basically anything you can think of to write about sports. You can kind of write or create to your heart's content. So if you want to help us and join this up-and-coming independent blog and podcast network monster, go to multiplesources.net. I'll stick something in the sidebar that says join us or something equally unfunny, so go and click on that. Join us.
Are you ready? Oh yeah.
Hello and welcome to It's Always Sunny in Phoenix. This is a weekly podcast where three Suns fans discuss the team as well as general NBA and sports thoughts. I'm Mitch, your host, and joining me as always are Charlie and David. How's it going, guys?
Not too bad.
How's it going?
Good. It's all good for me. We have some big news. We're on iTunes now. Just search It's Always Sunny in Phoenix on the podcast app. You'll find us. We're the only one with that title. Subscribe and leave us a review, please. And let's just get right into things. We're going to do things a little bit differently today. We're going to start recording on Sundays and posting episodes on Mondays now. It's a good way for people to be able to start their week with some NBA talk instead of in the middle of the week. But we're still going to give you the podcast that will come out on Thursday or Friday. And we're just going to do some lightning round recaps and previews and then resume our regular format next week. So we're going to start the lightning round. And the way that's going to work is whoever covered the game that we're talking about is going to be able to talk about it in depth. The other two people are going to give one-sentence recaps. So how about we start with the San Antonio game on Thursday the 21st, and David covered that. So why don't you start going in depth on that one?
All right, so San Antonio game, we kind of knew how it was going to go, and it came out just about an hour maybe before tip-off that Brandon Knight wasn't going to play. It was something along those lines. So we were without Brandon Knight. Maybe we could get a little bit more energy out of the guys because of that, and it seemed to be exactly that. Throughout 3 quarters, we played really good basketball, stayed close and competitive with the Spurs. Of course, in the 4th quarter, we just couldn't hold on to it. A couple of key standouts. Devin Booker having 24 points. He also played 43 minutes, which was great. I don't have the rest of his stats up here, but that was great. Tyson Chandler had a quietly good game. Had 20 rebounds with only 8 points, so he was able to get around that average that we talked about last podcast, his average points against the Spurs, but the 20 boards was a little surprising, as well as the fact that Tyson Chandler and Alex Len started together, which was a really weird combination. That lineup hasn't really gotten a whole lot of play this season, but it seems like what's going to, especially that night where the power forward spot was an issue, we had 8 active players. So it was a mess. All 3 main power forwards were out. So we had Alex Len and Chandler starting. Len had 13 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal, and 2 blocks, which was nice. And then Archie Goodwin thrust into the starting point guard role. 20 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal. Archie Goodwin coming out of nowhere, really. Not a whole lot of us knew that he was going to be able to come out like that. So, good job on Archie. And that was the game. I'm pretty positive that PJ went out a little bit. So that didn't help the game at all. PJ was hurt a little bit. Looked like he was hitting the groin area, but it was officially a chest injury. So that left the Suns with 7 total players active. So that's how the game went. That's how the game went the entire time. It was a final score, I think, 117 to 89. I don't remember if I said that or not, so I'm just going to say it again. So 117-89, kind of what we expected, but we got a lot of good play from a lot of the guys, young and old.
Okay, nice. So let's do one sentence recaps here. Charlie, what do you have?
All right. Our young sons, Booker, Warren, and Goodwin, all played very well against a great team, even though we lost by 28.
Nice. Okay, my one sentence recap is going to be, even though this season has been full of losses to various teams, it still sucks to lose to the Spurs.
Very true.
Hear, hear. I can drink to that.
Then we got some great news with a win against Atlanta on Sunday the 17th. And Charlie, you covered that one. So what's the information that you have on it?
Okay, this was just a great game for us. We were on that terrible streak of something like 15 out of 16 games ending in a loss, or maybe even 16 of 17 by then. But just everybody in the organization needed a victory that game. And we came out strong in the first, ended the first on a nice 9-0 run to take the lead, and we held that lead all the way into the fourth quarter. Then they tied it up at 95 with about 20 seconds left. And that's when our dude Archie hit that game winner, and that was just great. It was a feel-good moment for all of the Suns, especially Archie, with the way his career's been going. I think he really needed something like that. And Archie ended up with 24, Booker had 15, Len and Tucker each had 16, Tyson had 13, and a huge 27 rebounds.
Nice. That was a fun one. So, one sentence recap. David.
25% from 3-point throughout the season doesn't matter, apparently.
Okay. Mine is going to be Chandler's 27 rebounds ties the Suns' record, and a win feels good.
Yes, sir.
So, next up, we've got the horrible Philadelphia game from Tuesday the 26th. It was a game that I covered, 113 to 103 loss, our second loss of the season to the 76ers, which is pitiful. Brandon Knight was out again, and Archie got the start at the point and played really well, actually. Chandler and Len both started too, and I've kind of enjoyed watching them work together. It's fun because Tyson's kind of like Len's mentor, and so getting them on the court at the same time is great experience, I think, for both of them, really. And that's pretty nice. Len finished with his fifth double-double of the season, 16 points, 12 rebounds, and then he added a steal and 2 blocks. Archie had 26 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals. The only negative was 4 turnovers. But again, he's been thrust into this starting point guard role that he's not used to, and he's still a little uncomfortable. But overall, looking pretty good. Nerlens Noel had quite a few minutes at center because Okafor was out. So in both the games that we've played against the Sixers, we haven't seen Okafor. He didn't play in either of them. But Noel had 14 points, 9 rebounds, an assist, 3 steals, 3 blocks. And those blocks were key. He played really good defense and was a pretty good rim protector. It showed quite a bit of the potential that I think people saw in him when he came out of college. And then Ish Smith, like we talked about last time, came out and had yet another good game against us this season. 20 points, 5 rebounds, 9 assists. So this was tough, and one issue was that Devin Booker didn't have a great game, and I know some people were saying that maybe we could have won if he would have had a better game, but either way, it was still a really tough loss. So let's do the one sentence recaps. Let's have Charlie start.
All right. Joke's on you, 76ers. You go ahead and keep winning those games.
That's good. Okay, David.
Why do you hate us, Ish Smith?
Those were good. Let's move on to the game that just ended a little bit ago against the Cavs. And Charlie, you got that one too. We switched it up a little bit. So what's your analysis for that?
All right, so the Suns played a great first half against the Cavs tonight. The first quarter saw 13 lead changes, and we actually brought a 3-point lead into the second. So that was a solid quarter of basketball. That's all you can ask for against a team like the Cavs. And then in the second quarter, we were outscored by 8, but we were still hanging tight, and it looked like it was going to be a good game. But then the Cavs started to put on a show in the third, while we turned the ball over 9 times in the quarter. They went on a 12-0 run to start the quarter, and LeBron just caught a disgusting alley-oop off the backboard from J.R. Smith, and from that point on, you could tell, this one's out of reach. Love and LeBron both ended with 21. J.R. Smith hit 4 3-pointers, ended up with 18. So all in all, solid first half, looked promising, and then we started turning the ball over like we have been over this last month or so and just looking bad. And that's how the game ended.
Yeah, that second half was tough. So one sentence recap. David, go ahead.
Let's go with turnovers aren't good.
Keep it simple. Mine's a little similar, but I'm going to say after a great first half, turnovers and poor transition defense plagued the Suns. So that's it for our recaps here. We went through those pretty quick, but that was the goal. And now we'll move on to a couple previews. We only have 2 here since we'll be recording Sunday, and we'll do a couple more recaps and previews there. So first we have the game at the Knicks on Friday the 29th. I'm covering that game, and I'm really excited to watch Kristaps Porzingis. I haven't watched a full Knicks game this year, so this will be my first opportunity to do that, and I've seen a lot of his highlights of his putback dunks and things like that. I think his story is great coming over, and a lot of people doubting him and just coming out and having a great rookie season. A little similar to Devin Booker. Porzingis had more hype, but people didn't really expect them to have excellent rookie seasons, looked at them a little bit more like players who would need some time to develop, but they've both come out and had great seasons so far. So I'm looking forward to that. And then we have Carmelo Anthony, of course, one of the greats. He's slowed down quite a bit lately, but he's still a fun player to watch. And I still like Carmelo because I watched him in his days in Denver and still like him. So I think that will be a fun game. And let's have David pick a key to the game now.
The key is going to be defense. If we can play defense on between Porzingis and Melo, you can only hope to slow Melo down at some points. We can play good defense on those guys, as well as almost lost my train of thought. Not let the other role players beat us, whether it be Langston Galloway, whether it be Aaron Aflalo. I don't know if Derek Thomas is still in, or if I don't think he's hurt, but I know that one of those guys is hurt on the Knicks, and I can't remember who it was. It might have been Lance Thomas. Anyways, that's besides the point. I think that if we can play enough defense to slow those guys down, then we have a good shot at winning. And that's the big one. Defense.
Okay. Yeah, I think we could say defense for the key to every one of our games lately, pretty much. But I think that's a good key for the Knicks. And Charlie, who's
Copping out.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was copping out. That was the cop-out answer completely. I couldn't think of anything.
Oh no, that's a good answer. So
Either that or turnovers. Defense or turnovers.
I was flipping the
That'll sum
coin.
up every game.
you're taking
flipping
my
the coin
key
on
to
which
the
one.
Dallas game.
Oh.
Spoilers.
Okay, well, Charlie, who's a player that you're gonna watch?
All right, like you, I'm very excited to watch a full game out of Porzingis. I think he's going to be a lot for us to handle. But if we still are starting Len at the power forward spot, I think that'd be a nice matchup to see. Porzingis might not get that defensive matchup of a 7-1 guy playing power forward, so Len's length should be able to hold down Porzingis a little bit compared to other power forwards. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun to watch Porzingis. And now we've got a preview for the Dallas game on Sunday the 31st. And Charlie, you have that game. So what do you want to talk about in the preview?
All right, so we split the season series with them so far. It's been 1-1, and the most recently they beat us by 10. That was December 14th. Last game they had 6 guys in double figures. They were killing us from all over. Darren Williams led the way with 18 for them. And then something I'm looking at this game is Zaza Pachulia might be out. He's been injured here lately, so he's been playing great basketball this year, and without him, I think we'd have a nice advantage in the front court. And then that's a little disappointing too, because that would have been a good matchup for Len and Chandler versus Pachulia and Nowitzki. But other than that, I think Wes Matthews and Chandler Parsons have hurt us in the past. That's going to be a big role for TJ and PJ to be covering them all game. And I think if they don't have Zaza and we keep Dirk under control and keep those turnovers down, we could probably hang with them.
Real quick. Are we 0-2 against the Mavs? Because we played the first game of the season against them, didn't we? And we dropped that one.
We did. Right.
Oh, yeah, you're
Okay.
right. I messed that up.
I just wanted to double check that real quick. So
Thanks, David.
I don't want us to get yelled at in emails or angry tweets or any of that. So
Yeah, Tony Reale over here doing the fact checking. So who's a player that you're going to be watching in this game, David?
okay, so someone who's on a little bit of a hot streak is Chandler Parsons for Dallas. Chandler Parsons has been putting up some decent stats the last couple of games. I don't remember exactly how much. I think he put up around 26 the last 4 or 5, something along those lines. I don't have exactly that in front of me because I decided to be completely ill-prepared. But I think Chandler Parsons is going to be a big one to look out for. That will probably have PJ on him if he's the starting small forward. Since I think the last 2 times that we played against them, they were running with 3 guards instead of a traditional small forward, with Wesley Matthews at small forward. So Chandler Parsons has a lot of playmaking ability. He's almost similar to a point forward. He doesn't have to be, but he can be. And he's got an all-around game, not necessarily 100, not elite at any one thing, but he's kind of good all around. So I think that's the player to watch. Of course, you could say Dirk if he plays. I think he'll probably play. I think he was sitting out a game recently, I think tonight or tomorrow night or something like that. So Dirk's an obvious one. We've had a history of playing against Dirk, so there's enough of that. So I thought I'd go with someone different. And that is Chandler Parsons.
Nice.
That was long-winded for that. My bad.
The other thing with Chandler Parsons is a lot of people regard him as the most attractive player in the league. But I think Devin Booker might give him a run for his money.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
We have the battle of the beautiful faces, I suppose.
Armani definitely wins that battle.
I'm putting my money on Booker.
Yeah.
Well, so I'm going to pick a key to the game, and it was already alluded to, but I'm going to say turnovers. We have been horrible at taking care of the ball lately, and this goes for pretty much every game, not just the Dallas game. Stop turning the ball over, please. It's getting horrible.
Yeah, it's kind of
So,
cop-out
I think that's
answers,
about
but it's good enough that we need that. We'll try and come up with a couple of different things next time when it comes to keys to the game.
Yeah. We will, but
Or we
these are
won't.
important things still.
Or we won't, either one.
I would love to see a game where we have less than 10 turnovers. Wouldn't that be incredible?
That would be amazing. That hasn't happened this year, has it?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I think we've been averaging around
Without
like 15
looking at
a game.
stats. I believe that.
Well, maybe I should just say less than 15. Maybe less than 10 is too wishful.
Yeah. We got 9 1/4 tonight against the Cavs, so
That's a good point. Okay. Less than 15. Speaking of turnovers, oh, this is a horrible segue, especially because he's been playing so well. But let's move on to our player of the week, Archie Goodwin. He is just playing amazing lately. He's one of our many Kentucky guards. He's been thrust into the starting lineup at point guard, and he's had a lot of great games lately. Especially, I think, in that Philadelphia game. 26 points, and he also had 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, 4 turnovers, but whatever. He's just been phenomenal lately, driving to the rim, being able to slash a little bit, dunking, hitting threes, all kinds of stuff. What do you guys think about him?
well, tonight I just found out that Archie was a point guard in high school, and then once he got to Kentucky, Coach Calipari moved him to shooting guard. So that was just kind of a neat tidbit I picked up tonight, and it's interesting to see him being thrusted back to that point guard spot.
Yeah.
Okay, David, what do you think?
I have been very critical of Archie. I think he has tunnel vision. I think there's a reason why he was moved over to shooting guard. I know we tried him at point last year. Well, we kind of got forced to use him again. But, you know, he's been doing a lot. He's been doing pretty well. He's been not just thinking of one thing when he has the ball. He's been thinking of passing it and not just scoring or getting to the rim. So, you know, I like that. And he's pretty fearless, which is something I kind of knew, but the more and more you watch it with good decisions and not bad ones, the more it grows on me, and I enjoy him a little bit more.
Nice. Let's talk about his best qualities. Do you want to start with that, Charlie?
Yeah, I think the most obvious is getting to the rim and finishing when he gets there. He's got good size for that, 6'5". He's put on a bunch of muscle since we drafted him. His look has changed a lot, and you can tell when he gets in that lane. So, and with the ability to be able to get into the lane like that, the openings that causes for our shooters on the outside is pretty big time, and he's been doing a much better job of finding those guys once he gets in there.
For sure. I definitely agree. David, what do you think he's good at?
You know, definitely getting to the rim. That's his strong suit. He's not necessarily a jump shooter. It's improving. That part of his game is improving, and he's working on it. I really, as I mentioned, his fearlessness, his just willingness to keep on going for it, even if it's not working out for him. I mentioned kind of earlier with my one sentence recap for the Atlanta, the 25% from the 3-point line. And, you know, that's what he's been shooting this season. I don't know if he shot any better throughout his career so far, but he's willing to step up to that stage and take those big shots. And if he misses them, he's not going to worry about it. I enjoy that about his game, and I think that's really good in a young player. You can see some young players that will miss a shot here or there, and then will pass up on wide open shots or will stop being aggressive, and he doesn't have that issue at all. So I think that's what really sticks out about his game for me.
For sure. And I think that leads into my point. He doesn't give up even when we're being blown out. One thing I noticed in that Philadelphia game, we knew we were going to lose, but in the last seconds, he still got to the rim and he made a contested shot. He still gives 100% no matter what the situation is. So that's something that I love, and you can tell he really values his minutes.
Definitely.
How about what he needs to work on? We talked about it a little bit with his jump shot, and that I was going to say I think his jump shot is something that he needs to improve. But lately, it's looking a lot better. What do you guys think about what he needs to improve?
I'm going to go for it. You know, whatever. Jump shot, of course, it's getting better, and he still needs to work on it. I would like his passing to keep on improving. I think if he can continue to work on that aspect of his game, if he is going to end up being a backup point guard and compared to a shooting guard, then the passing is definitely one thing, and his handles in general is something that he needs to work on. That being said, he's getting the job done right now, but that's the one thing that I think that he can improve on to go along with his jump shot.
Okay, yeah. What do you think, Charlie?
Yeah, I think if he is going to be a guy that runs that point guard role, I think he really needs to work on his ball handling and his confidence, just his confidence when he is bringing the ball up. It seems like if a defender is playing tight D on him, he might get a little razzled or just kind of miss a dribble. But I think that's something he could really improve on. And then as well, I did mention that this has been improving, but when he does get to the rim, I think he does need to make better decisions. He will still force up a shot when he gets under there. Maybe he's looking for a foul, but just a little better awareness once he does get under the hoop.
Okay, yeah, I agree with all of that for sure. How about his best game this season? I'm going to say the Atlanta game, actually. He had 24 points, 4 rebounds, 2 steals, 2 blocks, but the thing that sticks out is the game winner. Whenever you hit a shot to win the game, that's really exciting and a lot of fun, and we haven't had many of those opportunities this year. So I'm definitely going to say the Atlanta game.
I have to agree with you there. And there was that stretch towards the end of the game. He threw down that dunk. He just came right through the lane, threw it down hard one-handed. And then the next time down, took a charge, got us the ball back, and that really it didn't seal the game for us, but it really put us in a good position to win that game.
Yeah, I have to agree with the Atlanta game. So it was just a good game for him all around. And that last shot is what I'm going to go with. I mean, his scoring throughout the game was good, but that last shot, tons of confidence, doing a reminiscent of Kobe shot of completely contested, fading away three-pointer that just shouldn't go in at all, but randomly does. So that's what really sticks out about, or his best game is what I think that is. Not what sticks out. Whatever. It sticks out too. That's his best game. The end. Sticks out about that game. That's where I'm going.
For sure. One thing I noticed on that last possession, he was gonna shoot. he for sure knew he was going to shoot all along. He had no intention of passing, and he got the screen, and he still had a guy on him. He didn't care. And he was, like Charlie said, super confident. It was great. So exciting. And the arena went crazy for the first time in a long time. So that was a lot of fun to see. How high is his ceiling?
You got to say Bledsoe, right? I mean, I think that the easiest one that I can think of is Bledsoe. I mean, the slashing game, his defensive potential doesn't necessarily do it every single time down on the floor, but he does have that potential. The body size, he's a bit taller than Bledsoe. A little bit of a shaky jump shot that Bledsoe has just now started to get going these last 2 seasons, basically. So something that Archie can improve on. And definitely ball dominant. So I always thought of Archie. I always looked at Bledsoe as probably his ceiling of what, if he's 100% lives up to everything, I think that's what he could be.
That's interesting because I saw a little bit of that in him tonight against the Cavs, actually. There was one point where there was a missed shot, and Archie came and put it back and dunked it. It didn't count because there was some other foul or something, I can't remember. But I was like, oh, that looks like a Bledsoe move right there, when he just runs after a rebound and has a putback dunk. So I see what you're saying there. What do you think, Charlie?
All right, this might be a little weird, but I look at Archie with the potential to be like an athletic Kevin Martin on the Timberwolves. They both get to the line a lot. Their games they're different, but I think they kind of have the same effect. Neither are their first option won't be to shoot the three. They're gonna look to either get to the line or get into the paint for a bucket. And I think, like, career trajectory wise, I could just see Archie being kind of like Kevin Martin, maybe a great guy to have coming off your bench for a long time, or possibly a starter.
Okay, yeah, I think that's a pretty good comparison too. And now for my favorite section, possible nicknames. Do either of you have a good one? Charlie, you have a lot to live up to after last week. Anything?
I actually took that like maybe I should sit out this week because last week was so spot on and perfect.
Ooh.
Good excuse for not having a nickname ready.
Didn't have one.
Okay, well, go ahead, Mitch.
I had a hard time with this one. In the name, you've got good and win, but that's just way too easy. And this might be kind of lame, but the only other thing I've called him this year is Archibald, because I really hope that's what his name is short for. So that's mine.
There's a lot to go with. You got the Arch, like the St. Louis Arch. Maybe like, I don't want to make a fool out of myself. I'm not going to go off the top of my head here. But the one I do like, and I think he uses it as his Twitter tag and other social media stuff. I like A1.
Oh, that's good. I like that.
I dig that.
That's cool.
That is right. So yeah, this is also known as the segment that I'm really bad at and have no taste for. So I was trying to think of something to go with Archibald, but I like A1. Even though I mean A1 isn't super crazy, but it's a little.
It's cool.
Little saucy.
It's
a little saucy.
Don't be too down on yourself. You're the one who coined Devin Booker as the Almighty Armani. So
I mean, that's just speaking the truth, though. That's not really a nickname. That's just saying it like it is.
Still. Okay. Well, let's see. which game are both of you guys looking forward to before we record again? Dallas or New York?
I've seen the Suns play the Mavs. It seems like so many times. And even though we're nearing the end of Dirk Nowitzki's career, I'm more excited to watch the Knicks and the new European Porzingis.
Definitely. David, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm definitely never excited for a Mavs game, so it has to be Knicks by default. I could say that I'm looking forward to a different game, but I'm not. When it comes to our games, I guess I'm interested in watching the Knicks and seeing how we can match up. So I'll roll with that.
Yeah, I'm excited for the Knicks game too. Porzingis, and then the very nostalgic Carmelo. I always think about his Denver days.
Okay, speaking of awesome nicknames real quick, 3-6 Latvia is probably the best nickname of the rookies
I do
right
like
now.
that.
Yeah.
That's good.
I see that one every
I'm
time.
sure
It's fantastic.
Yeah. I love that one. I think he said he doesn't like it, but
Yeah, but
should
he
learn
also wants
like
to be
it
called
because it's great.
KP6, so he doesn't get to choose his nickname.
No. I'm sure we can talk about that more next time too after watching him. So let's still end the normal way that we do by plugging something non-sports related. And I'll switch it up for you, David, and have Charlie start.
Woo!
Okay. All right. So last night I caught a Reddit post. I'm pretty sure it was on the front page. And it was just some old guy playing the piano on Twitch, the streaming service. So he takes song requests, and then he does some improvising too. And he's just a really talented musician. And word got out that this guy was pretty good, and some people started promoting him and getting the word out. And there were 60,000 people on his channel listening to him play the piano. So,
Goodness.
imagine a big college football stadium jam-packed watching this guy in his living room playing the piano.
Wow. That's
I watched that for about half an hour last night. Just had a blast. It was a great time. So you should check him out on Twitch. His username is Piano Impro Man.
Nice. That's great. Okay, David, what's your plug?
All right, so it really doesn't need plugging, but I went and saw The Revenant this weekend, and my goodness, was it fantastic. If you haven't seen it, because whatever, you definitely go see it. It's worth the watch. It's long, but it's intense and totally worth it.
Cool.
Yeah, if you've seen that trailer, you pretty much have to go to that movie. It looks so good.
Yeah.
Real quick, also forgot to mention,
Go ahead.
just real quick. So The Revenant, also, things you need to know, no artificial lighting at all when they were filming. They only used natural light, so they could only shoot in certain times of the day. So, looks fantastic. Also, the same director that directed this directed Birdman. So, you can kind of see the style of that. So, just wanted to throw that out there real quick, because I needed to let the people know.
Yeah, that's really cool. I will have to catch that one for sure then. So my plug is NBC's new comedy Superstore. I think some of the same writers from The Office are on it, and it's hilarious. I think there's only 7 or 8 episodes out, and I've been watching that, and it's so funny. A lot of the characters are really similar to The Office. So if you like The Office, you'll probably like this show. So check that out. It is really funny. Well, thank you for listening. And always remember that you can find us on social media all over the place. Facebook, Phoenix Suns Multiple Sources. We'll post our podcasts and articles there. On Twitter, at Sunny and PHX Pod. Post the articles and podcasts, and then a little bit of fan interaction, hopefully, is what we're going for with that. So hit us up there. Email us with questions, thought, or suggestions. sunnyandphxpod@gmail.com. And then our website, of course, multiplesources.net/Phoenix Suns, and the entire Multiple Sources blog and podcast network. Thanks for listening. We're looking forward to watching the next couple games. We'll be recording again on Sunday, releasing on Monday. So short week before you have to, before you get to listen to us again. And feel free to talk to us on email, Twitter, Facebook, or whatever. And we'll be back soon. Go Suns.